When you look at the rolling out of the vaccine in the U.S., how soon is that going to be?
Sounds like any day now they'll start vaccinating in hospitals in the United States, which is a great step forward. And then we'll get more and more vaccine. We'll see nursing home residents vaccinated. And then the real challenges start because hospitals and nursing homes, it's pretty easy to find the people there. But once you get out into community settings, even if we're talking about very high-risk people, it's a much bigger challenge.
So, Dr. Sharfstein, based on what you're seeing currently with supply chains and with the rollout, when do you expect us to get to that all-elusive herd immunity where we can actually start living somewhat normal lives again?
It's a great question, and it really depends partly on the vaccine access and partly on what everyone else does, because, well, herd immunity is a concept where the virus really cannot, spread within a community because enough people are immune, and there's just no place for the virus to go. It's going to depend on getting the vaccine out there. We're going to need to invest in the vaccination systems that actually deliver vaccine to people who otherwise don't even get the flu vaccine. But then also it's going to be a lot faster if we can get on top of the pandemic in terms of more social distancing and mask wearing and just generally drive transmission down. If we can do both at the same time, we'll get to a point of very little community transmission much quicker.
Dr. Sharfstein, I want to talk about the here and now, the idea of the pandemic worsening in many spots around the country. And there's a question of how much the vaccine rollout will stave that off. Do you expect the vaccine rollout itself to be able to limit some of the spread? Or really, are we back to square one with just the same remedies that we were looking at earlier in the year of wearing masks and not necessarily hugging our friends?
Oh, yeah, we should keep wearing masks. We should not be hugging our friends. We should stay distance. We shouldn't be, meeting up indoors without masks. That's very risky. The vaccine is fantastic. It will eventually lead the way out of the pandemic based on everything we know right now. But I think it's not going to do that right away. It's going to be at least a few months, and I think probably well into 2021, and it may vary depending on the country.
Once someone gets a vaccine, how long does it take for the body to build immunity to that?
Well, the Pfizer vaccine looks like the immunity really kicks in after about 2 weeks. And then with the second shot, it really stays for quite a while. So we'll see. But probably we start to see some impact a couple weeks after vaccination.
What is the one thing that you still want to know about the vaccine? And what is the one thing that would actually mean that more people get vaccinated? I know I ask you almost every week, but are there more people now that don't want to be vaccinated compared to what we thought a month ago?
I think it's really important. When this whole pandemic started, it was very scary. We didn't know much. And then we learned more. We learned how the virus was transmitted. We learned how to protect ourselves. It's a similar situation with the vaccine. We have a lot of information. We have great, large clinical trials, but we have limited follow-up. But we're not stuck in that position. We're going to get more information about this vaccine, about how quickly it works in real application in the world, about its full safety profile over time. And I think at each step, if things work out, we're going to get more and more confident, and we're going to see more and more vaccination.